What is up guys, Andy Forrest, the runner here, and welcome back to another training video in this Need for Speed block. Today we're going to be going through a workout which I'll explain shortly, but the focus of today's video and the talking point at the end is going to be all about cadence, turnover, whatever you want to call it, getting those legs moving quicker. Yes, boys and girls, welcome back to another training video. Love making these videos, absolutely love them. And today is another week, another workout video and another talking point. So just thank you so much for the feedback on last week's vlog. Someone commented saying it'd be great if you had like a specific topic each week, and I was like, that's a damn good idea. I used to do that before I did these last 2 or 3 training series, and I really enjoyed doing it that way, so I thought, yeah, let's get back to doing that. So kudos to you for commenting. It's a great idea, and I thought let's do that moving forward. Just gives the video a little bit more purpose rather than you guys just watching me do a workout. So cadence, turnover, that's the aim of the game, and a very poignant starting point in this block, something that I need to be working on from week 1 and have been working on from week 1 moving forward, something that you lose focus of when you're half marathon and marathon training, or I do anyway. Your stride gets a bit longer, a bit sloppier, I start to shuffle, and cadence really does drop. So for me now, during these next few weeks, there'll be drills and strides before every workout. We'll be working on cadence, and that's going to be my thought process today during today's workout. Not only that, we're in the Liberate Nitros again. Love these shoes, and one of the main reasons I love them is because they give you no aid whatsoever. They are flat, the profile is flat, there's no rocker, there's no plate. You are doing 100% of the work in these shoes. So I know that when I finish today, the times might be disappointing or they might be good, but I know it was 100% me that got those times, and it wasn't even a little bit of the shoe that helped. So what have we got today? VO2 max start session today, interval session, whatever you want to call it. Fast stuff, 2 by a K with 400 meter jog recovery, and these are not going to be floats. Okay, these, I want to go hard on the reps, so we're going to be recovering a bit slower than float pace, probably in the 8-minute mile range, late 7s, early 8s, and then 2 by a K with 400 float, 3 by 200 with 200 recovery, and 3 by 400 with 400 recovery. So to recap, 2 by K with 400 recovery, 3 by 200 with 200 recovery, 3 by 400 with 400 meters recovery, meaning a total of around 3.9 miles or something like that. So quite a short session, but it should be a lung burner, and we're doing it out on the industrial estate, so we're going to get some good data today. Although having said that, it is blooming windy. The wind has picked up massively, so I should think one way we're going to be battling a headwind. Either way, finish this warm up, get the drills and strides done, get on the way. Drills done, strides done. Just going to get rocking and rolling. It is so windy, but it's also really hot, so see how we get on. I'm excited to see what we can do on the concrete. I'm not 100% sure what I'm feeling. We're going to give it a damn good go. Week 2, let's see where we're at. Okay, first 2K's done. Wind is behind me on the first one and against me on the second. So 3:07 on the first one, 3:19 on the second one. Such a difference, battling that wind and onto the 200s. Okay, 200s done, 38 with the wind behind me, 41 into the wind, and then 41 back with the wind behind me. So could be that I've gone too fast. They say it didn't feel like a 41. So first 400 now, gonna be into the wind. So there we go, 400's done, just on the cool down now. So 400, first one into the wind, 121. With the wind behind me, 115, which was much better. And then I thought, come on, I've had a real mid-session slump here because of the wind and because you realistically went off too fast in that first K, 3:07. Despite it being wind aided, probably a bit too quick. So gave it some gusto and went 117 back into the wind for that last one. So overall, it's a good session. Obviously our body doesn't understand pace, it understands effort, as we all know, so there's a heck of a lot of effort running back into that wind. The lactate was real, so you know, times might not be setting the world on fire, but the body certainly got a good workout. So let's get this cool down finished and go back and talk all about cadence and why I'm working on it so much. So there we go, back home now, sitting down, processing the data. Got some interesting stuff to share with you today on that and talking about cadence and everything. So I think overall, having time to process it, yeah, I'm not 100% blown away by how the workout went, but at the same time, it was also a really solid workout, kind of progressing on from last week. Some good times in there, a bit of a mid-session lull. I remember having a fair few of those when I was doing speed sessions. My mind just started to sort of like give up a little bit, and then I was like, no, come on, push to finish hard. So we'll go through all of that shortly, but I have to say, the main man, Dan Runs, has come through with an epic piece of merch. I don't know if you can see it. I'm now a member of the Dan Runs fan club. Look at that, what a guy. Look at that six-pack, he is so chiseled, it is unreal. So Dan Runs is a fellow YouTuber, you need to go and check out his channel. I will leave a link in the description below. He very kindly sent me this t-shirt. I said to him on Instagram, so I saw someone wearing this, I was like, I need that t-shirt in my life, I need to be part of the Dan Runs fan club. So Dan is the man, and he has provided me with this t-shirt, and I'm sharing it with you guys because it is blooming epic. I'm going to wear Dan on my chest with pride. So let's talk about this workout then. We had some 1K reps, 200 meter reps and 400 meter reps. And what was really interesting and what I'm trying to pull from Garmin is I don't like data, I don't like stats, but I'm trying to understand that it's good for me to learn about this stuff because it will ultimately help me. I try and be oblivious to data. I just want to run. I don't like all this scientific stuff about it, but I'm starting to think to myself, well, actually, if you really do want to get your cadence up and better turnover and all that sort of stuff, it might be worth paying attention. So obviously I went out there on the K reps, super hard on that first one, and I think that was part of the reason why I had such a mid-session slump. 3:06 Garmin is reporting, I think it was 3:06.8. I've never run a K under than 3:18 or 3:17 before, ever. 3:15 tops, so that was mental. The pace on that was 5:01 per mile. Cadence was 1:77 for that, and my stride length was 1.82 meters, which is really interesting. The next one was 3:18 back into the wind. So that first one was wind assisted. The second one was wind hindered, shall we say. 5:19 per mile pace, 1:77 cadence again. So we didn't drop the cadence. Stride length was only 1.71 meters. Now you'll notice as we go through some of this data is a little bit off. There was a glitch in the 200 meters, but I'm trying to piece together a bit of a pattern here. 200 meters were then 5:03 pace, 1:83 cadence for the first one at 37 seconds. And then the next two were terrible. This was my mid-session slump, 5:31 pace for both of them. This is where the data goes wrong. 1:69 cadence on the second one and 1:35 cadence on the third one. My stride length on the second one was 1.72 meters. And on the third one it was 2.13 meters. So I'm going to ignore the data from those two because they seem a little bit far-fetched. Something obviously went wrong there. But then moving on to the 400s, the data seems to get back in line a little bit. 523 per mile, 178 cadence, so that's cool, with a stride length of 1.68 meters. And then the last two are 502 per mile with a 180 cadence and a stride length of 1.78 meters, and then 509 pace, 181 cadence and 1.73 meters. So what I'm noticing is in that 1.7 something meter range is where my intervals are at in terms of stride length. So I need to now do some comparisons of as to what I am normally like when I'm doing my Thursday workout, which would be more sort of tempo, half marathon paced or 10k paced work, whatever it might be, see if I'm striding out a little bit more, because what I noticed there on that first one is my stride length is 1.81 meters. Whether that's right or not, who knows, but what's interesting is I got my quickest time by having the same cadence around 177, but my stride length was much bigger, so I was covering a lot more ground for the steps per minute, if that makes sense. Whereas the next one at 318, same cadence, but stride length was 0.1 of a meter shorter. So obviously, got to take that data with a pinch of salt, but the reason I'm working on this is because as a taller runner at 6'6", I really do struggle to get to that magical 180 cadence, and I have learned not to stress about that anymore. I don't worry too much about getting to that magical number. I do find that my half marathons are between 168 and 172, and if I'm in that range, then that I know is a good solid range for me to be in. My easy runs can be anywhere from 159 to 161 cadence. And my 5Ks are around the 176 to 178 cadence. So for a lot of you guys out there who have that perfect 180 cadence in and around there, you'll notice that your intervals that I do, your cadence will be probably around 190 to 200 steps a minute, maybe even more. So for me, you can see that I'm hitting that magical, or nearly hitting that magical 180 for some of these reps, but actually my racing is about 10 steps a minute slower, if that makes sense, on my half marathons and stuff. So that's why I want to get this better. I want these intervals to get up and over the 180. So I want to be, by sort of week 5, 6, 7, 8 onwards, I want to be making sure that any track style intervals like this, I'm hitting around that 180. I just don't want to get them up to like 200, so my race is 180. It's just unnatural. My inside leg is 39 inches, so I have such a long leg. In proportion to my body, my legs are much longer than my torso, so I know getting that 180 is going to be super, super hard, but I just want to be consistently taking it up 2 steps a minute. If I can come out at the end of this racing at 2 steps a minute faster than what I was before, I know I've done a good job, and then that means that if I continually do this over time, because these things take time, then I'll get more efficient and maybe become like a half marathon that runs in 172 cadence or 174, and then my 5Ks are around the 180, 182. That's the goal, but we're talking 2 or 3 years. So that's the purpose, that's the reason, that's my focus. I've kind of paid attention to some of this stuff in the past and kind of not, but for me, looking at these workouts, it's important to set these baselines now, so that I can see where I'm at when we come towards the end of this block. And then, for example, at the Newent 9, which isn't a goal race, but it's going to be a shorter 6-mile race, which is up and then down, 3 miles up, 3 miles down. It will be really interesting to see what my cadence and turnover is then, and see how this training has affected that, and then I compare that back to previous years as well, and see, fingers crossed, if it improves. So anyway, that's the workout today, that's the focus. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what your cadence and stride length is, stuff like that. I'd love to start to piece together a bit of a pattern. Give me your height, let me know if you're a tall runner, a short runner. I know people like Tim Gross, again, he's a tall runner like me, size 13 feet, but he has a quick cadence, he has a 180. So I know it's possible, but just naturally for me, it doesn't feel natural. So I know I've got to work towards it. I'd love to know. Let me know your height, your cadence, your stride length, any other data you've got. It'd be great to hear, and it'd be great to start to piece together, see how many of you are at that magical 180, and maybe how many of you, like me, are nowhere near it. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.